In this video, we're going to show turn on the forehand. The turn on the forehand should be started with a very young horse at the age of 3 from the ground. And when the horse has mastered this from the ground, from the whip being used on the side, we can then begin it from the rider being mounted on the horse. Here we show the turn on the forehand from the left leg, and the flexion there was also to the left. This is the way it should be started. Next, we're going to show the same turn on the forehand with counterflexion, flexion to the right. This is more advanced and allows the rider to control the right front shoulder in a more exact way. When we begin the turn on the forehand, we want to keep the flexion the same direction that we're turning. So if we're turning the horse around with our right leg and right rein, then we want to keep the flexion to the right. Here we're going to show counterflexion from the right leg and turn on the forehand. This is more advanced. We can also see in this particular turn on the forehand that the horse is not quite stepping forward enough on the left hind, which is a common fault. So here the rider thinks about the left hind coming more forward on each turn. Now when the rider is beginning the turn on the forehand, it's important that they have a moment of stillness or a halt in between each step. So when we're teaching a young horse, or if I'm teaching a rider turn on the forehand, I want to have the horse step away from my leg and then halt. This horse is quite advanced, so he continues to move away from my leg, and I'm able to continuously control his shoulders. If this was a very young or green horse, I would have to actually stabilize him in between each step or two to teach him that when he moves his hind end, he needs to just step up and down with the front end, but not make a complete circle with the front end. So in turn on the forehand, the haunches move around the forehand, and the front legs of the horse should march up and down. This is very difficult to do without making a small circle with the front legs, and if you're going to make any mistake at all, it should always be forward, that the horse should never step backwards and turn on the forehand. It's better if the front legs make a small circle than if the horse feels trapped and starts to back up. The most common mistake is that the horse would back up or become frustrated or claustrophobic. As you ask him to move his hind end while asking him to stay stationary with the front end, horses can get frustrated with this. So we want to do this in small periods. I will do a turn on the forehand from each leg until it's good, and when it's good, I do not repeat this exercise. Or if I needed to repeat it and the horse was becoming a little frustrated, I would go back out into the trot or the canter, let the horse come forward, and then reapply my aids for turn on the forehand.